Welcome to Verified Therapist. We are back.
Welcome, everybody.
Autumn is not hungover.
Not anymore.
Oh my goodness.
We're feeling great.
Autumn had so much fun last night at her birthday party.
I had so much fun at my birthday party last night.
I had a blast.
You were such a trooper.
It was like a birthday dinner that turned into like a party.
That's a double dogs. Oh, I guess I should
double
say
dogs.
That. Will that expose where we are?
There's multiple double dogs everywhere. Yeah. I don't know. We said where we were last week. I forgot to edit that out. So like it's out there in the world.
So it's fine. God. Well, now y'all know where we are. But Kate knew nobody and she showed up. And I am so appreciative of that. I loved having you there.
I loved meeting everyone. Everyone was so much fun. Also, Carol had me like peeing my pants up from laughter. So we're really going to have to get her on the podcast at some point.
We're going to have to get her on the podcast because she just doesn't be caring.
No.
She does not care about anything.
She is hilarious.
Yes.
She is so much fun.
That was probably my high of the week, honestly. Mm-hmm. And, I was a little nervous because I was like, different parts of my world are going to be at the same place. And you just never know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like it went fine.
It did. Everybody meshed together like really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think I peed myself laughing at your friend Jessica's video of her falling off of that bike.
And it got just like traded around. It was like, I think Carol has it saved now and just like watching it. She's just like watching it.
She did. She sent it to herself. She's like, I was like, this is so funny. I think we sat there and watched it at least 4 or 5 times. So
it's like the
Jessica,
best,
if you're listening, like we loved it. It was great.
Listen, if
you want to post it on TikTok, you'll probably go viral because that shit is hilarious.
What a good idea. What? She should do that. She would go Instagram or TikTok famous instantly. Yeah. When we left, I was like, okay, my feet are going to hit the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try not to hit the floor.
Yeah.
And I stood up. I mean, I was holding on to it, like the bar stool, so like it was fine. But I was just like, we got to get to the car. Like, we got to get to the car. Angelica brought me home. Because good Angelica goes to her meeting, goes and chairs her meeting, and then comes back. So, thank God for her. I had not one of my items. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have my keys. I didn't have my wallet. My gifts. Nothing. I had nothing. Everyone around me. And we're leaving, and Angelica's like, "Oh, I parked. I guess the cops just leave their cars there and run, like leave them running." And so it's like 2 cop cars, Angelica's car, and 2 cop cars. And I was like convinced I was going to get a PI. And so like I'm holding on to Dominic. I'm holding on to Angelica. Jessica has all of my items. I don't know where anybody else is, but I'm like, I just got to get to this car. And so
were you walking straight?
No. And I was like, and they were like, you're not going to get a PI, but also like shut up and don't say anything. And I was like, got it. So like, I don't really remember saying bye to anybody when we left. I know that when we got to my apartment, one of my neighbors came up and Angelica's trying to find my apartment key, like which one it is. I'm being 0% helpful in that as I am just like standing on my landing, just like existing. And my neighbor comes up and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I said, "I'm 30 years old in 14 days today." And he was like, "That's great." I was like,
that is wonderful.
Yeah. He was like, And I was like, and I'm not sober right now. And he was like, that's what's up. And I was like, I hope you have a great night. I've never talked to this man ever. And he was like, I hope you have a great night too. And Angelica was like, she's going to bed. Is where she's going. So, yeah.
What was Max like? Was Max like, Mom is drunk?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I've never seen her in this state.
Angelica, the sweetest human being ever. It's like, I'm going to take Max out. Max is 70 pounds and Angelica is a tiny little woman.
Yeah,
and
she's
so,
tiny.
Like, yeah. And so, like, he's just, like, pulling her everywhere. I go out on the landing to watch her take him out. I FaceTime my mom. It's almost midnight where she's at, and I wake her up, and I'm like, Mom, I don't know why I'm FaceTiming you right now, but you need to know what's going on. Angelica's, like, in the yard of my apartments going, what do I do with Max's poop? I can't hear her because I'm on FaceTime Mom. It's just a disaster. Disaster all around.
I love it, though.
Disaster. Yeah.
That's great. And you had a blast, and Lindsay was very helpful. We were like, Autumn, here's a glass of water. And Autumn was like, Lindsay, another one. Pointing to her empty glass of margarita.
Lindsay, look out for me, girl. Listen, we gave the rest of my cake. So you left after the cake. Or before the cake. There wasn't a candle on the cake, but we improvised by setting the piñata on fire with the people's behind us lighter. So that was what that was. While Angelica's playing Birthday Girl by Lizzo, and I'm like, and so
why did I leave at like the best time? Oh my God.
So I gave them a piece of the cake, and then like we all had like little pieces of it, and there was a bunch left, and I was like, Lindsay, you take it to your friends in there. So I gave it to the wait staff so they could have some because they were so nice to us. But I was like, take this cake.
We were there for I was there at least for like 3 hours. Yeah. And at some point I like looked and I was like, oh, I got Josh food. I should probably take this home to Josh.
Poor Josh. He's like at home starving.
Yeah. So that's like part of the reason why I left, because I was just like, oh, he's probably hungry.
Yeah.
So I gotta go home. But I was having so much fun because I like texted him and I was like, hey, we're probably going to wrap things up soon. 2 hours later. Yeah. No.
No.
We had not wrapped up anything. No. I was like, we're not leaving. I was like, I'm actually about to drive and drop them to a luau right now.
Listen, it was on site about to happen. We would have been dropping that food off to Josh and been like, we gotta go to a luau, but then we'll be back. So
the luau was like right down the road from my house too. So I was like, you know what?
What?
Like the neighborhood she said it was in, I was like, that is literally like right down the road from my house.
Yeah.
So we'll go to this luau.
Listen, I'm trying to do that again, birthday or not. I'm trying to hit at that Double Dogs patio again.
Maybe when it's not like 97 degrees.
Yes, that's what Carol said yesterday. She said we'll do it again, like when it's not scorching hot, and I'm like, okay. So,
yeah, it was still nice though. Like it wasn't it wasn't miserable, honestly. Like it was. I mean, it was toasty, but it wasn't like I wasn't like sitting there like dying. I just, I drink a lot of water, so
yeah,
that's all I did to like stay cool and hydrated was just sit there and like sip 4 glasses of water during those 3 hours we were there. And feeding Autumn water because she would not. I was like, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 sips of water.
I'm like you with the workouts. I need guided water drinking.
And then I was like, 1 more, and you were like, no. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay.
And the thing about it is I don't even like margaritas usually, but like you could not taste any tequila in those. So like I was about it.
They looked good. They didn't look. Were they just like a lime margarita? Because they looked a little yellow. Like I thought kind of at some point like they were like a pineapple margarita because They looked a little bit more yellow than green.
It tasted just like a lime margarita. Sometimes, like, I hate the taste of alcohol. I did take a couple of shots, but it was like choking it down because I hate the taste of alcohol.
You chugged that tequila. I was like, ooh. I was like, I'm not well watching this go down.
She was getting flashbacks to Tequila Kate.
No, God, no.
Oh,
cool.
So yeah,
poor people that knew me in college. My God.
See, I never really did that in college, so I guess now is the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So
at 30,
at
30, when you can get like astronomical hangovers, that put you on your deathbed.
Yeah, but it really was not bad. The worst part was like when I got home last night and I was laying in my bed and I was just like, "Whew." Feel a little, you just feel dizzy. That was the worst part. I do know when Angelica was driving me home, I said, if I close my eyes, everything just spins. And she said, well, don't close your eyes then. And I was like, well, that's a good solution.
Yeah, that's a very good solution to that problem.
Yeah,
and
just
it's also,
keep your eyes open.
At that point, just don't lay down. Like, don't lay your head down because it's going to make it worse too.
Yeah.
It's never a fun time.
No. But it was fun. I very much enjoyed it. And I felt very cared about. So.
You were cared about. We loved you. And like, I loved seeing you like continue to just down those margaritas. That was so funny.
Once I'm in it. And I'm like, I'm doing it. So I don't ever black out. But
yeah. I was like, she's not stopping. It's like, wow. It was like the fourth one, and I was like, damn, she's not slowing down anytime soon.
Because every time Lindsay would come through, shout out to Lindsay at the Double Dogs, because she came through at the very end, and I was like, I think I won, and Jessica like covered my mouth and said, she's drinking water. And I said, Lindsay, they don't know me like you. It's fine. And Lindsay was just like, I'll just come back and I'll see how you're feeling. I said, okay.
Yeah, she's probably like, liability wise, I don't know if I can give you another one.
Yeah. So nice.
Yeah. And at one point I was like, I had a salad and I looked at her and I was like, this is going to be so random, but like, can I have a plate of fries? And she goes, whatever you want. I was like, okay, we're not judging here, are we?
Yeah. She's our girl. Our girl lives with the Double Dogs.
Yeah, she's lit.
Hit me with your highs for this week.
Let's see. I guess my high was on Friday. Obviously, I'm going to say other than your birthday dinner because that was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was literally, that was lit. I loved it. But other than that, on Friday, I got to hang out with Jamie. So shout out to Jamie. We went to this little like movie festival downtown. Kind of like this place downtown is like an old movie theater. And so now they host events there. And we got to watch Jurassic Park and Twister. And they showed like 90s trailers during that time too. So it made you like a whole, you went back to like watching these movies in theaters. And I wasn't so born. Cool. Yeah, I wasn't born when Jurassic Park came out. I was like 1 when Twister came out. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that they did that.
They do it every once in a while. I think like this one was a specific event hosted by like the radio. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So like the radio host, he picked the 2 movies that we got to watch.
That's awesome.
Which was a lot of fun. Thanks. Really, buddy?
Poor Binks is sick.
I know, he's sick. That's my low of the week, is that Binks is sick.
Yeah.
He keeps hearing his name, so he's not going to stop. But yeah, poor Binks is sick. We think he has a UTI, and because he's peeing everywhere he's not supposed to, and all that. Not going to go into like full detail of what a UTI looks like. I just heard Josh shush him. Shh.
Josh is our sound manager, and he doesn't realize that he is. And he's like, "Be quiet. She's working."
And Mommy's trying to work. She's trying to not make us money, because we don't make money from
that. She's volunteering in there, so
yeah. So I'm sure he can just probably go and feed them, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah,
but whatever. Yeah, that's my low of the week is poor Binks. But
poor baby.
I know my low of the week for the upcoming week already is that it's going to be this freaking heat. I love summer, but I don't like heat waves.
It felt like 105 today. Not exaggerating. That's what the weather said.
I can see that. Like my garage is smoldering.
It makes it hard for us to like be active. Because I like to be active outside.
Yeah, I like to go and walk outside, but like it's way too hot for me to go and walk. Like even right now, what is it? It's 85, but what is the feels like?
Probably 105 still. Feels
like 90. But the humidity is 69%.
Yeah. And here's the thing is we just got, I don't know if, I'm assuming I didn't hear it come through, but like WBKO said, lightning was detected in your location. So we just had a storm come through that might have cooled down a little bit, but that's still like after a storm, we have 60% humidity and it's 90 degrees. So
yeah, like tomorrow, this entire week is going to be in the 90s, and it's not predicted to rain or storm or anything until Sunday. So it's just going to be hot.
Heaven help us here in Kentucky.
Ugh.
Yeah. I shouldn't complain because once upon a time I was scared about tornadoes. However, if we could find a good happy balance of 75 and sunny with a light breeze.
The lightest of breezes.
The lightest of breezes. That's all I'm asking for.
I've seen them on TikTok. Those little like inflatable like tanning pools that people have been getting. I think I'm going to get one. You know those like old time plastic pools? Those little like blue plastic pools. I think I'm going to get one for Millie. So Millie can just go and hang out outside too.
That's a good idea. I like those little plastic like tanning pools, I guess is what they're called. I saw a person like today on TikTok, they set up like their lawn chairs on their porch, and they had some kind of something that was misting them with water and then like a fan on them, and they were like, it's hot AF because the UV index and I'm trying to tan. So
yeah, that's a good idea. I have a fan on my porch, which like one of my, but like it's one of the reasons why I really like this house is because there's a fan on the porch. So I can sit outside, especially in the evening, and just be cooled under the fan.
Just be cooled.
Yeah, there's a fan in like every room of my house, and I love it.
See, I want one so bad in my bedroom because we don't have one in the bedroom.
You don't have a fan?
I have to have like I have a fan on me, but I don't have a ceiling fan. I have one in my living room, but not in my bedroom. And that was like the only thing about these apartments, because these apartments are super nice. And so that was the only thing about these apartments that I was like, girl, like get it together. It's 2024. There should be a ceiling fan in every room. Yeah, literally. Oh my gosh. So what do? Do you have like an oscillating fan that you keep on at night? I have like, so the way my desk is set up, it's kind of like parallel to my bed. So at the end of my desk, I have like a little like desk fan that is like on my face. And then I keep it, our air works really well in these apartments, and I keep it pretty cool. So like the air kicks on and I can feel it at night, but that's nice. Yeah. That's another thing that I like, going from like living in a house built in 1950 and a house built in 18, 19, somewhere around there. But like all older houses, the vents are in the floor. And so newer houses, they're on
like the ceiling.
The ceiling, yeah.
Which makes the air flow a lot better.
Oh my gosh,
so much better. Mm-hmm. So like I can keep it a little bit like warmer than what I did at the old house because there's so many, like there's 2 vents in this room on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And like same thing in the bedroom. I think there's actually more because our bedroom's bigger. But yeah, like it's so nice to have that. And then we also have ceiling fans in every room too.
See?
So we can keep it like a little bit like warmer. Like I can keep it on 72 and it'll feel like 68.
Yeah.
Because it is.
That's optimal
and that's what I like.
See, I am not an outside girl. And this is why. Because I like my fans. I like my electricity. If I'm hot, I'm probably getting irritated. I just like the finer things in life. Like a fan in every room. Yeah,
listen, I love summertime. I'm like a summertime girly. Yeah. But I don't like heat. I don't like heat waves. I like summertime because I like to go swimming. I like to go to the lake. I like to go to the pool. I like to like literally be able to sit outside and tan. Yes. But it's too hot for me to do that right now. I don't like that. Like I can't even go to the pool right now unless I literally have a float and I'm in the pool the entire time.
Yeah.
And you can't do that at a public pool. Yeah. I had a dream last night that we were building a pool in our backyard. And it was like the best idea ever. But I know the reality of how much it costs to build a pool.
Like especially a lot of work. Not that like, you couldn't do it, but it's just it's a lot of money and it's a lot of work.
But can you imagine like the value of our house? Like how much it would go up if we had a pool?
Yeah. And it like you would love a pool. You'd be in it all summer.
Literally. Like you would every day, every break, a 5-minute break from work, my ass is in the pool.
Yeah.
I'll be having sessions in the pool.
Yeah.
Listen.
Just like on telehealth and you're like on the edge of the pool. Listen,
I'm floating in the pool with my laptop on
doing CBT. Listen, I don't blame you at all though, because I love being in the water. I love swimming. There's nothing better.
Yeah. Like I seriously, like I'm weird, but I think that's also why I had to have a Mohs surgery. Probably why I'm more susceptible to skin cancer and all of that stuff too, is because like literally if I'm outside and the sun is shining on me and I feel it like baking my skin, like that is one of the most favorite feelings in the world.
Yeah.
And my friend Brittany was calling it when we were standing in line for the Kelsey Ballerini event a couple weeks ago. She was like, "It's lizard time," and was like, "Bake." And then she was like, "Okay, lizard time is done. Like we need to get inside." She's like, "This is a little too much sun exposure," and I'm like, "But it's not for me." Like
it feels so good though. Like when you're just out there,
I was like, I would have lizard time forever.
Like if I'm not doing something, if I'm just existing in the sun. It feels so good. Like there's nothing better than that.
I love it. So I like my skin, like feeling my skin like warm up and heat up and everything. Like I love that feeling. So, and I also like how, like I like my skin being a little bit like tan, not like super tan. Like when I was in college, I was crazy and would use baby oil.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
That is not okay. And again, why I had a Mohs surgery last week or a couple weeks ago because of that. Yeah. Just wear sunscreen.
Protect your skin. Every day. Also, it's okay to be a little tan. Just protect your skin.
Yeah.
That's why I used to like say that I hated summer, but I'm like you. I just like hate the heat waves of summer, and I don't like the humidity because it's super humid in Kentucky when it's summer. Like if we had dry heat, I would enjoy it a lot more. But I love. Yesterday, my freaking birthday party or dinner took place on a patio because it's my favorite thing to do. When it's like nice outside, I'm just trying to be on a patio, any patio. I don't care if it's like a restaurant. I don't care if it's like my friend's porch. I'm just trying to like go and hang out somewhere on a patio. So like, it's my favorite activity of all time.
Patio time. It's a good summer activity. Patio, margaritas, good people, good food, some good music.
It's the vibe.
All the things.
We're big summer people. Except for this week. Except for this week.
Yeah, this upcoming week is not going to be fun. You will not catch me outside for longer than a couple minutes.
No.
This week.
Unless it's like sun going down time.
Yeah, I gotta tell my clients to watch it in this heat and drink water because dehydration is real, people, and especially in heat.
Drink your water. You know, I'm poking in with another high. I've done really well this week. Other than the 8,000 margaritas and stuff yesterday, I had been drinking only water. I've been drinking water consistently. I've been eating in a calorie deficit. I have been intermittent fasting. I've been moving my body a lot more. So like, we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of things. So we're making healthy changes.
Yeah, because May was a little rough. So we're trying to really work on June.
May was very rough. And, you know, this week, what illness did I have this week? Oh, I was nauseous for like 3 days straight.
Yeah, we had a little vertigo happening.
Vertigo is like, honestly, if you've never experienced vertigo.
Oh, it's the freaking worst thing you ever experienced in your life.
And I kind of think that it might have been like a migraine because I had a really bad headache one day this week. And so I think it was like, you know, the nausea like coming down from a migraine, and I had nausea for a few days after that, and then vertigo. Do you hear that?
No.
Somebody's outside. Like one of my neighbors are outside, like beating something on the ground. I don't know.
I was like, we just moved into this house. We don't have time for it to be possessed.
No, it's definitely outside. There's a couch that has been outside my house. Like one of my neighbors, they've had a free couch sign. We live in a cul-de-sac. Who the fuck is gonna see your free couch in a cul-de-sac?
They need signs. They need you know how when you people in cul-de-sacs have yard sales and there's signs all the way from the main road? That's what they need. Free couch, free couch, free couch, free couch. Leading somebody to the free couch.
I'm just seriously?
Will the trash eventually take that, you think? They'll have to, right? Well, I guess, I don't know.
I don't think so. They would probably, even if you left it out there, the waste company in Bowling Green is shit anyways. You could leave it out there. They would not take it.
No.
You would have to call a junkyard to come and pick it up. So, but it literally has a sign on it, free couch. And it's it rained all last week and it was out there in the rain. It's still wet.
Nobody wants
the top of it. It's still wet.
Nobody wants a couch. It's been rained on.
Why is it still out there? Why is it out there? I can't get over it. We live in a cul-de-sac. Why do you have a couch?
Nobody wants your couch.
Free couch. No one in this cul-de-sac wants your couch, and we're the only people that are going to know that it's there. Because no one drives down here.
Unless you live here.
Yeah. I'm just and there's no signs pointing from the main road or anywhere else in this neighborhood. So unless one of the neighbors wants it, and we know how long it's been out there.
Yeah, it's been tainted now, so nobody wants it.
We have wolf spiders out here. They have probably burrowed nests in there. We don't want it.
The wolf spider rained on couch. Free. It's free.
Listen, I found 2 wolf spiders this morning. Both of them were dead. But yeah, they were like, they were like that big though. They weren't like big. But I found 2 of them today, one in the closet and one in the bathroom. I tried to flush one of them down the toilet and it would not flush down the toilet.
Oh my God. That's it. We can't do this. If it's not going to go down the toilet, then we're done. Like, what do we do?
I was like, it took it 3 tries to go down the toilet, but it finally went. So.
Didn't Josh say to spray stuff around?
Mm-hmm. I haven't, like, honestly, I haven't sprayed anything, and now I'm regretting it because it's so hot, and I'm like, well, I'm stupid. I feel like I missed my window of opportunity, but no.
Yeah, because now they're not going down the toilet.
It eventually went down the toilet, but it just took a few tries. And, like, my husband, Josh, came in there and was like, what are you doing? Why do you keep flushing the toilet? I'm like, there's a spider.
I'm having a funeral for the wolf spider.
Yeah. I was like, okay. And there was another one. When was it? Was it earlier this week? I don't know. I don't remember. But it was like Josh, like, knelt down on the floor in here.
Mm-hmm.
He was like doing like a stretch, and like by his foot there was one beside his foot, and I was like, oh. And he freaks out with bugs. He's not a bug person either.
Same.
So I was like, hey, don't freak out. And he was like, whoa. I'm like, okay, well, now you almost stepped on it with your bare foot. So
oh God.
I was like, I'll get it.
What do they do again?
I don't know.
What's their main purpose?
They just kill other insects, like the bad insects. So I feel like I should just like catch them and put them outside. Maybe they'll respect that.
Sorry, there's a gnat flying around me. Currently, there's a gnat.
Ugh.
I thought I was having schizophrenia for a second, but I'm not. Okay.
Dude, okay, this is gonna be so random. But there's a show that I saw when I was like scrolling through, or Josh was scrolling through last night, and it was like 6 schizophrenic brothers or something. And like that's the show. And I was like, huh?
Hello?
I was like, what's happening here?
Not
why
me.
is this a TV show? I don't know if that's exactly what it is.
Not me, but Google 6 schizophrenic brothers.
Did you find it?
No, but I did not just yet because Angelica just posted pictures of her father.
We are distracted. Listen, everyone last night. Look at that. He is so handsome.
Okay.
He is so handsome.
Oh, so funny. Okay.
See, we're just distracted by Angelica's dad.
Oh, God. Okay, no, that's a thing.
It's on Max. It's on HBO Max.
Yes, 6 schizophrenic brothers.
6 out of 12 siblings develop schizophrenia. It's a terrifying story of an all-American family torn apart by madness.
Hey, it's nonfiction.
You know what? We might be watching this. I don't have HBO. Actually, I have a free trial of HBO Max. So if there's not that many episodes, I might be able to get through it.
It looks like there's 4.
Okay. It literally just came out.
Perception, psychosis, delusion, and reality.
We might be watching that.
They probably advertise it to you because they're like, there's a therapist in the house.
Yeah.
Here's our target audience.
But I was just... And I'm not laughing because of schizophrenia, obviously. I'm laughing because it was just like, I was just scrolling. We were just scrolling, and I was just like, ma'am?
Also, like, okay, it kind of bothers me, and this is just because, like, person-centered language is drilled into my brain. But, like, it bothers me when we classify people as, like, schizophrenic or autistic or... You know, I'm just trying to think of other things.
Bulimic, like, anorexic.
Yes, bulimic, anorexic. Because that's like calling people by their diagnosis rather than saying, like, people that are diagnosed with this. Right? So, like, Maybe if y'all could have picked a better title.
Yeah, because like it's like the debate of like people like not wanting their identity to be morphed into their mental health diagnosis.
Yeah.
But then some people on the other hand, like they want that identity morphed into, or like their diagnosis morphed into their identity.
Yeah.
The whole debate in the mental health community. So it's kind of like, I think one thing that we've talked about is like we like to meet the client where they're at. So it's like whatever you want to say.
Yeah, you've got to kind of figure out where your client is at with that and how they want to classify. Because like you said, some people, they get that diagnosis and they feel trapped by it. And then some people get that diagnosis and they feel understood by it. So it's like everybody is different on where they stand with diagnosing.
Look at us actually talking about therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Once. We're not just here to yap about nothing, guys.
Yeah. This is verified therapist.
Yeah.
When Autumn watches Love Island, we're going to talk about Love Island. But for now, we're just going to go right into our Taylor series.
Right into Taylor.
So we felt it was appropriate, since we're doing this Taylor series, to touch base on Joel Alwyn, because he came out this past week and addressed his breakup with Taylor Swift for the first time. So he said, "I would hope that anyone and everyone can empathize and understand the difficulties that come with the end of a loving, long, fully committed relationship of over 6.5 years." Get it, Joe? Lots of words.
Go ahead.
That is a hard thing to navigate. What is unusual and abnormal in this situation is that 1 week later, it's suddenly in the public domain and the outside world is able to weigh in. You have something very real suddenly thrown into a very unreal space. Tabloid, social media, press, where it is then dissected, speculated on, pulled out of shape beyond recognition. And the truth is, to that last point, there is always going to be a gap between what is known and what is said. I've made my peace with that.
You know, right, Joseph? I have a lot of respect for that comment. But I feel like that Taylor and Joe have both been respectful of each other, but respectful of their relationship in that time. And I think that Taylor has kind of been like that with significant relationships in her life. Like, I almost like she gets more emotionally charged and less protective of like these situationships that she finds herself in. But like with Calvin Harris, she didn't write a whole lot about him. She wrote, "I forgot that you existed," and that was it. But that was like her first like long-term boyfriend. And then, which of course there's speculation on what happened with that. But same with Joe. You know, Joe was the longest one that she's had, and she obviously loved him very much. And so I think that she's protected that. And I think that that's what he's doing as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I like that he's also waited this long to come out and talk about it. Like, I mean, it's been over a year since they broke up. And like, I also understand the, like, obviously I could never be in their shoes because I'm not famous, but like, I like empathize with that situation, like being when they broke up, like the world dissecting it and like trying to turn it into something of like people being like I remember like the first week of their breakup being like, oh my God, like mom and dad got divorced, you know, I'm a child of divorce, like this is so sad. And like having, you know, I mean, I shared those memes too of just like of like they're breaking up and like all of that stuff. And like yeah, it was a shock to the world for sure. But then like a week later turning around and being like, oh, well, did he cheat on Taylor? And like, let's dissect this picture that some girl posted of him just a week after the breakup news, or like a week before the breakup news, you know, like let's dissect everything and like try to turn it into some kind of narrative that none of us know anything about. Because we don't know why they broke up. I mean, we can speculate from what Taylor has given us in the Tortured Poets department and You're Losing Me. I think like people were dissecting things so deeply that she released You're Losing Me to be like, hey, this is how I'm going to address the breakup. and that's it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to verbalize anything about it. I'm just going to release this song, and you do with that what you want.
And honestly, like, You're Losing Me, it's an extremely painful song to listen to, especially if you've been at the very end of a long-term relationship. But it wasn't like Joe cheated on me or Joe did this salacious thing. It was just kind of like, maybe we grew apart and Joe didn't recognize that.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the overarching message, you know?
And like she says it in the Torture Poets department too. Like she talks about like how different they are and how like she's trying to be herself and he's just kind of like not getting it. And so she kind of just like stays trapped in this because they've been together for so long. She doesn't want to end it, but also like you hear it like fresh out the slammer too, of kind of talking like she felt trapped and he didn't understand her. He wasn't even like recognizing the subtle changes in her moods from what like you gathered from that song. Yeah. So it's hard to, I don't know. It's also just like she doesn't talk about him in a bad light either.
No,
like
it's just kind of like,
even in that song, she's just kind of like we just grew apart and like he didn't understand me. That's not a bad thing that this person doesn't understand me. Sometimes that happens. Yeah. You know?
And you do feel like when you've been with somebody for that long, you know, I'm in a relationship after 9 years and you do feel trapped in that. It's not the other person necessarily making you feel trapped, but it's just like you have so much of life together that it's like, am I just going to explode my life and change everything? And like, yeah, that's what you eventually end up doing, but it just doesn't feel realistic to you at the time. So you do feel trapped in it.
Yeah. And she says that in You're Losing Me. Like, do I throw out everything we built or keep it? But then she was also like, but I'm getting like really exhausting trying to like bend myself into this person that you think that I am, but I'm not. That's like it's very heartbreaking to hear. I'm glad he waited this long because I think if he hadn't waited this long, it would have been even more dissected and torn apart.
Well, and I think it's coming from like a healed place. Yeah. You know, like now the Maddie shit is blowing past, kinda. She's with Travis now. She's seemingly very happy. Joe says that he's very happy. So it sounds like it's coming from a place. Like, I think that if he would have spoken any sooner or like right after it happened, it wouldn't have been from a place of like healing and reflection. It probably would have been more from a place of like trying to get the media off his back. And frustration or sad, you know, he still would have been in that grieving process probably.
And like people are saying like it gives us a timeline because like that would have been like the first week of April because the news dropped the second week of April because that was like Easter weekend in 2023. So it would have been like the second weekend. And like that really does match up the timeline of like watching Taylor on tour too.
It does.
Of like, I mean, she had a lot of attitude.
Yes. And there were some song change-ups. So, like, Invisible String came out, and the one came in its spot, and I think that the one was about Maddie Healy, which would line up, right? Like, that would line up.
Yeah, everything kind of like, like matches up, which I think, like, that's like his way of taking the narrative back of people being like, well, they broke up here, they broke up then. And he's like, no, if y'all are going to keep speculating it, I'll give you one piece of this. Here you go. This is when we broke up. Yeah. He just like, honestly, like, I mean, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. I don't think she could have been in a relationship with someone for 6.5 years and him be like this bad, monstrous, abusive person. I mean, he could have been, but I don't foresee that. Like, I just see like the way that she talks about him, like they just grew apart. So
yeah, I think that he was what she needed at the time of like the Reputation era and stuff. But I just think that they just weren't it for each other, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's sad, but it's fine. And like she's happy, and like I mean, she says this in So Long London too. She's like, you'll find someone. You know, like she sounds like I really want you to go out there and find someone. But I think also like from what it sounds like in some ways, which I know marriage isn't always the end all be all, but it sounds like she wanted marriage and he didn't. Yeah. And so she was kind of like, or like maybe in some way, like that was his way in the back of his mind being like, I know we're not meant to be together. So like, I don't want to marry you. And I hope she would have made him sign a prenup, but
I don't know. He'd be on those writing credits for Folklore. So,
oh, that's enough. That is enough.
Yeah.
Like Joe, you are set for life with those writing credits. Anyways, we'll go on with our Taylor series. We'll stop talking. We'll stop talking about Joe.
Yeah.
Anyways, watch it be Lover. Like,
and we're right back into talking about Joe.
I would crack up if it's Lover.
What's that?
So what have we done? We've done Evermore, Tortured Poets Department,
Red,
Fearless, Red, Reputation.
So we've still got Lover, Midnights, 1989, and Folklore left. And Debut.
And Debut. All right.
Wait, what's your gut feeling saying?
I have no idea.
I have a gut feeling. So I need you to get in tune with your gut feeling, and we're going to say it at the same time.
Okay.
And then we're probably going to be wrong. So.
It's different from last week.
Yeah, mine is too.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Midnights. Every time. Okay. And we're gonna be wrong.
And we're back to talking about Joe, if that's it.
And we're back to talking about Joe.
Anyways. Okay. Here we go. That's the Tortured Poets. That was Thank You, Amy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. That's the title track of Tortured Poets. That is okay. Clean. There we go.
Our gut from last week. Listen, I have a lot to say about it, so we're good.
Yeah. So, here we go. It is, and my phone is not about to die like it was last week. I don't know if you knew that, but my phone was on like 3% while we were talking, and I was like having to look up.
Literally, shut up right now because my phone is on 3%.
3. Stop. You guys,
I'm telling you,
this is what we're talking about. There's some like weird shit.
Listen, I will. That's why last night when someone at the table, I'm not going to say who, was asking you for advice on something, and they were like looking at me, and I said, she has the same brain as me, and she's more sober than me, so just ask Kate. I don't know. She's going to say the same thing that I'm going to say.
Yeah. 1989 is Taylor Swift's 5th studio album, and it was released on October 27th, 2014. It is her first official pop album. So this was like her first official switch from country to pop, and it is a synth pop album, and the main producer on this album is Max Martin, who produced like a lot of like the poppy tracks on Red, but also Max Martin is famously known for producing a lot of Britney Spears.
Yep.
So he is like a huge person in the pop world. He also was on Reputation too. So yeah, this is in the era of Taylor Swift releasing albums every 2 years. So this was like the last album that we got on that 2-year track because fucking Kanye and Kim ruined that. But this was the last one. This came out my first semester of college. So this holds like a very special place in my heart because this came out at a time when I was like needing Taylor Swift music more than anything. And she released this like poppy, lovey, just amazing album. Yeah.
None of her albums scream freshman year of college like 1989, really.
So let's see. The first single that was released was Shake It Off. And that was released on August 19th. Not even like I was at college when it was released. So it came out. So the college we went to, they had this like week before classes started for freshmen, and I was there, and it came out this week.
Yeah.
So
perfect. Oh, I was about to say what it was called. I guess I can. I mean, I don't know. Perfect master plan. So,
yeah, it really was. It came out, and obviously, like by that Monday, I had it memorized, and was singing and dancing, and like this was a song that was like, obviously. I think back in our college days, like a lot of rap music was played at parties, but like this song was also played at parties. So like this was like the one, I guess, like different song that they would play at parties. Like you would hear just like a bunch of rap music, and then all of a sudden you'd start hearing Shake It Off. And I was like, and like this is a song that like you get up and like run to the dance floor and start dancing.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those songs that like, everybody knows this song.
So this album was the first album that she worked with Jack Antonoff on.
Jack.
And this is where we get the introduction of Jack Antonoff. And obviously he's in the bleachers. So she just kind of like pulled him in and was just like, hey, you want to produce? Gosh, we have so much information about this because she won Album of the Year at the Grammys for this, and she did a whole interview with the Grammys on this album. So like she broke down every single song that she wrote, every single like writing process behind each of the songs, and then she did like a stripped down performance of each of these songs too. Did you watch that?
Okay,
oh
so
God.
here's my confession of all this. This is going to sound kind of weird when I say this. My favorite Taylor Swift song of all time is on this album. I did not like this album when it first came out. It's not that I didn't like it, but that's not fair to say. Shake It Off was overplayed for me, so like I was hearing it all the time, and I was annoyed with it at one point. And then like I liked Out of the Woods, and I liked Bad Blood, and I liked Blank Space. And those were the only ones that I was like, okay, like, I can get down with this. Until Taylor's version came out. Like, I wasn't even really that excited about Taylor's version coming out of it. And then, like, when Taylor's version came out, I was like, I'm just going to press play. And then I fell in love with it. So, my love for the album is just now surfacing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So Taylor's version came out August 27th of 2023.
Yeah. So I'm new to the 1989 game.
Yeah. So 9 years later, she re-released 1989. That is her fourth re-release? Fourth re-release.
Yeah. Fourth, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth re-release. So that was a big deal because on the Eras tour, that was when she started popping up with blue outfits, and everyone knew that 1989 announcement was coming. And so we were in that era until Tortured Poets. But yeah, like I loved this album when it came out because I just I needed some like poppy, upbeat songs in my life.
You were at like a perfect time for it.
And also, I will say, so let's see. So there's this like single wise. So Blank Space came out in November as a single. Style came out in February as a single, and Bad Blood came out in May, and then Wildest Dreams in August. So she was releasing singles forever. She released singles until February of 2016. So Wildest Dreams came out as a single in August. So she released the music video for that. And when I tell you, so earlier that year was when The Longest Ride, that movie with Nicholas Sparks, came out.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with Scott Eastwood.
Yeah.
So then she put him in the Wildest Dreams music video. And that was like the first kind of like spicier like Taylor Swift music video that we've seen. And I was like, What?
But you know,
oh my God.
That hits on your point that you made last week, that she gets these people when they're like, kind of like when they're doing something else big, you know? Because he was big at the time for the longest ride.
Yeah, he was big, and she like pulled him in, and she was like, "Hey, you want to be in a music video?" And he's talked about this too. He's just like, "I'm just a guy that was in a Taylor Swift music video," and I'm like, first of all,
no, you're not.
No. Yeah. Second of all, your dad is Clint Eastwood. What the fuck are you talking about? You're not just some dude in a Taylor Swift music video. Your dad is the biggest actor of all time.
Yeah.
I'm just
like BFFR. Come on, Scott.
Anyway, yeah. I remember also, so this, for my English class, my freshman year, so this was like second semester, and this was after, obviously after like the Blank Space music video and everything came out, but we actually dissected the music video and the song Blank Space.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we had to like dissect like the symbolism and, you know, like the lyrics and the metaphors and like just like all of those things, like we dissected in my English class. And, you know, obviously huge Taylor Swift fan. I know what an incredible lyricist she is, but like that was like, I was like, holy shit, just in Blank Space. Like this is everything. Like, and she talked about this when she was doing like her interview, like with the Grammys. So this song, for those of you who've never heard Blank Space, you're living under a rock. But in this song, she wrote from the perspective of a girl that the media was painting a picture of. So she was like, oh, the media wants to paint this picture of me, so I'm going to like dive into this. Like, what would someone who is like flying around the world and just picking up men and dropping them off and, you know, just like absolutely going crazy and scaring them off. Like, she's like, what would that person, you know, do in these situations? So she wrote from that perspective. And I mean, we got a banger of a song.
Oh, it's so good. I love Blank Space. It's also Travis's, one of Travis's favorite songs.
It is. And Max Martin and Shellback produced it. Taylor Swift wrote it with both of them. It's an electro pop song. So she said it's a satirical, self-referential nod to the media's perception of her as an image of a crazy girl, but seductive, but glamorous, but nuts, but manipulative. She admitted she felt personally attacked for a long time before realizing it was kind of hilarious. So then she wrote from this perspective. Which
I love.
Genius.
That. Yes.
Genius.
And her just like taking like, and she does that so much, like takes this public perception and she's like, okay, like you say I'm this character, so let me show you what this character would look like. And so she plays into that, and that's like some of her best writing and some of her best music. And when you're listening to Blank Space and like you're in the car and you're singing along with it, you kind of feel like that character a little bit, and you feel the funness of it, you know, like
the bridge, like boys only want love when it's torture. Don't say I didn't warn you. Like that, just like the gradual buildup is just like it's so much fun. And then Swift told NME in 2015 that when Blank Space was released, half the people got it as a joke, and half the people really think that she was owning the fact that she was a psychopath.
Which is hysterical. That's hysterical.
Yeah. It's so funny. I mean, like she talks about like in the song, like got a long list of ex-lovers. They'll tell you I'm insane. Which is like so funny because like also people back in the day, like do you remember that like whole thing of like got a long list of Starbucks lovers or something? Like there's some like crazy thing that people thought that she was saying. Okay, so got a long list of ex-lovers was misheard as all the lonely Starbucks lovers. Which Starbucks responded to themselves. Yeah, I mean, like, the critical acclaim for Blank Space is absolutely insane. So Rolling Stone ranked Blank Space 6th on their list of best songs of 2014, 23rd on their best songs of the 2010 decade. So 73rd of the whole decade. 357th on their 2021 revision of the 500 greatest songs of all time. And later, 320 on their 2024 revised list. Time named it the 9th best song on their year-end list. The song played at number 3 on the Village Voice annual year-end Paz and Jock Critics poll of 2014. Let's see, Blank Space won Song of the Year at the 2015 American Music Awards. At the 2016 BMI Awards, the song was one of the award-winning songs that helped Taylor Swift earn the honor of Songwriter of the Year. And it earned a nomination for International Work of the Year in the 2016 APRA Awards in Australia. And at the 58th Grammy Awards in 2016, Blank Space was nominated for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, and Best Solo Performance.
Mic drop.
Just that song alone from that album was named all of those things. And we haven't even talked about the like accolades of the album in general.
Right,
but in the charts. Yeah, let's see. In the charts, 2010's decade end charts Blank Space as on the Billboard Hot 100 as 65. Like out of all the songs that came out in that decade, like this song is 65.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
It just shows how good and like how smooth her transition was from country to pop. Like she carried the people, like the fans with her into that, you know?
Yeah. It was the second album. So the whole 1989 was the second album to spawn 5 or more U.S. top 10 singles in the 2010s decade and made Swift the second woman to have 2 albums each score 5 U.S. top 10 hits. So also, this album was the inspiration for the movie Someone Great that came out in 2019 with Gina Rodriguez.
Which is so good.
It's such a good, and then that spawned her to write Death by a Thousand Cuts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. Like this album spawned like a great movie. And then that movie turned into an even greater song that she released on Lover. So, which we'll talk about Lover at some time.
Yeah.
Like it's just like the inspiration just like kept going and just like keeps, you know, snowballing down.
It's Taylor's world. We're just living in it, truly.
I mean, and for her to go from like country to pop in general was like the biggest pressure. And I can't imagine like what her therapist was going through during that time if she had one. Of like how much stress she was under to like make this like huge switch, because people don't do that. Like people continuously put out country pop albums like Shania Twain did, but they don't go full pop. They don't just make like huge genre shifts. And she did. And she opened the door for other people to do that. Like Beyonce. Beyonce has gone from like pop to country now. Like people are making these like massive switches and changes because she opened the door for them to be able to do this with 1989.
Yeah. And like people were giving her so much shit about like how Fearless and Speak Now had poppy stuff with it, you know, that she was just like, you know what, I'm going to dive into that. It was almost just kind of like her being like, I can create whatever I create, and like I'm not going to be boxed into pop or country or like maybe just let me create what I want to create, and if people like it, they like it, and that's great. And I think that's how really music should be. Like whatever sounds
boxed
cool
into one genre.
Yeah, like whatever sounds good. And I think that's why I've said like it's hard to pick like a favorite Taylor Swift album sometimes, because like they all sound so different. And people who are like all her stuff sounds the same. No, it does not. No, it does not. It's literally like there's a reason why we're living through an Eras tour right now. because everything about it is different each time. And I don't even know how she does it.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, I didn't know that Epiphany and Shake It Off sound the same. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Y'all people
it doesn't make any sense.
Y'all people are crazy. But like it is a huge jump, and it's also kind of like it kind of, I think, also made her realize, like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Like, people were like, you're not country enough. Yeah. And then she was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just switch to pop. And then they were like, how dare you abandon country music? It's like, well, you wanted me to. Like, you said I wasn't country enough. So, like, and Kelsey Ballerini's facing the same thing right now. She's facing the same criticism of like, well, she's not country enough. And I'm like, what is country enough?
Mm-hmm. Like, what?
Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that like whole.
And why can't we just let artists explore different types of music? Why does it why do we have to box people in? And I think that you're right. I think this is when she kind of did see that, like, somebody's always going to have some shit to say. You know, somebody's always going to have something to say about it. So, like, and I think that she did, like, she had gotten some kind of award, and she was talking about, she was like, okay, well, the media told me this, so I did this. I think she said, like, the media told me that I was writing too much love songs, so I wrote music about moving to New York with my friends and being happy, and then it was too much. It was too much of that. And talked about how, like, she was kind of, like, bending and pulling herself to meet that public opinion, and at some point she had to be like, I can't do that. I can't continuously do that, because there's always going to be somebody who has something to say about it.
Because they're like, oh, you write too many songs about boys.
Yeah.
And so, like, then she's like, oh, okay, well, I'll release a music video with just my girlfriends. It's like, oh, well, you have all these model friends, and you have all these, like, all these celebrity friends. Like, you're just showing off. And it's like, huh? Like, it just, like, she couldn't win, and she still can't win to this day.
No.
And I think, like, now she's kind of like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. But it probably took her, I just, like, have to, like, think of, like, the mental gymnastics that she had to do to try to, like, mold herself into this person that everyone wanted her to be. And, like, at what point did it click? Like, you're never going to make everyone happy. So do what makes you happy. And, like, that's what I try to tell clients too. I'm just like you're never going to make every single person in your life happy, and not everyone's going to like you. Yeah. And so, like, you have to make that choice of, like, do I want to do what's best for me, or do I want to keep doing what's best for other people?
Yeah. And we don't like if we pull that back on ourselves, like, we don't like everybody. Like, we're not meant to like everybody, and not everybody is meant to like us, and that's okay. And I think through 1989 and through Reputation, where, like, I think that was that time period of her being like, I have to just make music that feels good to me, and then, like, my fans will either like it or they won't like it. And
this album went 9 times platinum, and in the U.S. sold 6.4 million copies. Like, that's, like, where they rank it from, like, the opening weekend. Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And, like, 2014, like, yes, 2014 was, you know, obviously everyone had an iPod, everyone had an iPhone, you know, something like that. But we were still having to, it wasn't streaming music yet. Like, we weren't at that point yet. Like, if we wanted an album, we still had to buy it. We had to go on iTunes and buy the album. And so for that many people to go out and do that, and that's when she was also still going to, you know, Target and, like, buying her own album. Yeah. She had been doing that since Fearless. And like, that's I should have just drove to Nashville and just, like, gone to every Target to see which Target she was.
Which Target are you going to, Taylor? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's massive. Like, that's huge. Let's look at, like, all the awards that this won. This was her second album of the year that she won at the Grammys. And she also won Best Pop Vocal Album for this album at the Grammys in 2016. But that's crazy. She opened the Grammys that year with Out of the Woods.
Yeah. Which is,
and
I love Out of the Woods.
It was like one of my favorite performances of hers. And Jack Antonoff was playing with her too during that performance, and she killed it. She opened the Grammys.
Yeah.
Which is like such a, like one of the highest honors to do.
Yeah.
And then she continues to win Album of the Year, which she said she never expected to win Album of the Year again. After Fearless, she was like, I'm good, because Red was up for Album of the Year and they lost. She wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And she gets up there on stage, and this is like one of the like sad parts of Miss Americana, the documentary, of like her talking about, like, she's like, aren't I supposed to have someone like here with me celebrating? But like everyone's up here like hugging each other and like celebrating with each other. And she's like, I don't have a partner to celebrate with. And at the time she was dating Calvin Harris, but again, I don't think that she felt that like strong connection with him, you know?
No.
And he was always very, like, from what we have seen, like, he was always very jealous of her success.
Yeah.
So, and he was very intimidated by her success. So I think like her not being able to celebrate like with a partner was really upsetting to her. And it's always like really sad to see her like on that stage kind of like be shocked and be surprised and like, but also know like now during Miss Americana, like after watching that, like knowing like how much she was actually kind of like hurting during that time too. And the pressure that she's talked about, you know, when you win Album of the Year for a second time, and that's like not something that happens, especially like she said, especially for women, like you don't do that. You don't win Album of the Year multiple times. How much pressure that is to make something bigger and make something better.
Yeah. And I think that that's why we see such like a really difficult and hard moment for her when she gets the call that Reputation's not nominated, because she knew that there was a lot of pressure and she felt like that she had failed, it seemed like, even though Reputation is an amazing record, she felt like that she had failed in that. And I mean, I feel like, again, when you're this massive artist, it has to be a lot of pressure of like always outdoing yourself. And that just, when you win so much and like you meet all these records and you break all these records, that has to feel crushing. Like I'm thinking about like if she does not give up music after the Eras tour, like what is going to be the expectation for her next tour? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be insane. Like I can't even, and I hope that she's not thinking about that right now, but like there's going to be a lot of pressure on her, I'm sure, if she does another tour. I'm not even convinced she's going to do another one, but
I mean, there's insane pressure for her right now. Like she had to say, like the Eras tour is ending in December, guys. Like this, because
everybody was wanting another U.S. leg, and I'm like, she's been touring for 2 years at the point that it ends.
Like let her, like like this is the same thing that goes with like I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Like the crowd was chanting more. Like how much more of this woman is she going to give us? You know, like she has to, like mentally, like she has to take a break. Like she has to do that for herself.
And there was some notable, so like, and this is kind of pulling it back to 1989, but like we have like these very strong pop hits that are like, you know, Shake It Off and Blank Space, but we also have some pretty vulnerable music on there too. You know, we have This Love is on there, which is just I love that song.
Yes. This Love was also a song that was given to The Summer I Turned Pretty, to go back to that show.
And we're back to that.
Yeah, we're back to that. So they were given This Love, and that was like the first re-recorded song from 1989 that we got, and we got that in 2022. And she didn't release 1989 Taylor's version until 2023. That was awesome that she gave them that song. And that song, like when it plays at a perfect time. Like it's
just gets you in the feels.
I mean, Out of the Woods is a very upbeat song, but it's also like a gut wrenching song too.
Yeah.
And might also say, like, this album is rumored to be about Harry Styles, aka why there's a song called Style.
Listen, and we are big Harry Styles fans, so
huge Harry Styles fans.
Massive Harry Styles fans over here. So
this album is like everything.
Yeah, and if you ever call me at work and I put you on hold, you will hear a piano version of Watermelon Sugar. So just
shut up. I'm gonna call you at work just so you can put me on hold.
Just so you can be like, oh yeah, Out of the Woods is a very I love Out of the Woods so much. But it's very like lyrically a heart-wrenching song, you know?
Yeah. It is this song that's kind of just like when you're in a relationship with someone and you're waiting. She's described this too. She's like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like, oh, well, we made it through this hurdle. Okay, are we out of the woods yet? Nope, I don't think so.
Nope.
So okay, here's another hurdle. Okay, we got through that. Are we out of the woods yet? Nope, I don't think so. It's just kind of like an anxiety-ridden song. And the bridge is phenomenal. And it's like, again, like another bridge that is like absolutely phenomenal and amazing. Yeah. And she sang this at the Air Store that I went to. She played it Saturday night.
Yeah.
Which I think was an Easter egg too, because she announced Speak Now on Friday, and then Saturday she performed Out of the Woods as a surprise song. I was like, girl, she got through the bridge and she was like, you know what? She's like, I want to play that bridge again. And she just played it again for us. And like my aunt was with me that night, and like she's a huge Harry Styles fan too. Yeah. So like she was hoping we would get a 1989 song as a surprise song because she loves Harry Styles so much. And when we got that, like she was looking at me and she was like, this is everything. This is everything. Mom and Dad divorced. It was a sad time. They needed to divorce, but it was a sad time.
They were not meant to be together forever, but we loved them when we were there. And you know what? We love friend Harry and Taylor as well, because when they go to award shows and they see each other, they talk, and it's just like the cutest little exchanges ever. So I'm still here for it.
Yeah. So another song, I mean, obviously other than like the main ones of Blank Space and Style and Shake It Off and Bad Blood, one of my favorite songs from this album is All You Had to Do Was Stay.
Oh, yes.
And she said, like, that's, I mean, it's a track 5. So obviously track 5s are Taylor's like gut wrenching songs. Yeah. But this is like an upbeat song. And you listen to the lyrics and you're like,
nothing upbeat about this. Yeah.
It's like another one of those songs where it's just like Max Martin was probably like in the studio and it was just like, oh, here's this killer beat, and Taylor comes in with like this
gut-wrenching
fucking set of lyrics. And like she said, so in the song, she said when she wrote this song, she woke up from a dream, and like in the dream it was like this person and was trying to come back into her life, and like all she could think of was stay. Yeah. And like she just kept hearing that, which is Taylor in the room with us again? Is she in the room with us? That sounded just like her.
I think you are her.
Like she just kept hearing that over and over, and like she woke up and it was like in her head, and she just had to like write from that. So it's basically like a song like saying like, well, this person wants back in my life, but all they had to do was stay, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So bye, buddy. No.
No.
She's like, I'm a Sagittarius, so like when you break up with me, I'm gone.
Yeah. Boundaries queen. We love it.
So like that is it's gut wrenching. I mean, we got I Wish She Would. When she's like debating on I wish you would come back. I wish you would walk up to my front door right now and tell me that you still want to be with me.
I Know Places was one that I slept on, and it's so good. The bridge to it, it's just so good. I mean, you just don't.
Her voice throughout this song is angelic. Like it's so good. And it's basically like, it's a good song talking like the paparazzi is going to find us. They're going to hunt us down and they're going to try to put their opinions and just kind of like going back to Joe. Like, they're going to like twist the narrative and they're going to like put their own spin and be detectives out there and all the things. But like, she's saying, I know places we can hide. And where they're not going to speculate on us and they're not going to find out about us. It like, I mean, it's a game of like, kind of like, I guess like cat and mouse. Yeah. Kind of like, I mean, she's like, they're the hunters. We are the foxes. They take their shots, but we're bulletproof.
Yes. Oh, so good.
It's so good. It's such a good, like it's also just a song that I think that can fit into all of Taylor's relationships too. And, you know, I mean, like seriously, like any relationship too, because, you know, even if you're not a public figure, sometimes like being in the little like love bubble of like no one knowing anything about your relationship, it's like it's sacred and it's like meaningful and it's like just you two. And then when you like put it on Facebook or you like are out walking around, like sometimes, especially in a small town, like people are going to talk, people are going to like create their own narrative about that. And like, I'll say, you know, I saw a picture today of a couple from my hometown. And I was like, when did they get together? And then I started wanting to do a little like deep dive of like, oh, how long have they been together? And like, how did they, you know, get together? And blah, blah, blah. I want to know everything. Because I'm nosy. But like, also I know that's none of my business either. At the end of the day, it's not my business. I'm going to try to make it my business, but it's not. I mean, like we're all guilty of doing that. And like we're guilty of doing that with Taylor's current relationships too. Like it's not any of our business, but we're curious about her. We just did it
5 minutes ago. We just did it 2 seconds ago. It always leads me back to this. My favorite Taylor Swift song of all time.
Clean.
Is Clean. So it's going on body eventually somehow.
She ends the album with that song. And it's so beautiful. It's like it's like a song where she's broken up with this person, or it's kind of it kind of just goes to like anything that you are you're distancing yourself from, and like you're finally able to like breathe again because you are, you know, there's always some kind of like lull period when you're getting over a relationship and like you finally are at the top of the hill and like looking up and the sun is beating down on you and you're like, I'm out of this. I'm out of this like horrible situation and I'm so removed from this that like this person, this thing, this whatever is no longer hurting me anymore. And it's a song that like I refer a lot of my clients to. I refer a lot of my clients to music therapy, and Taylor Swift does it best. But it's a song that like I refer my clients to because I'm just like this is a song because you got over this hump and you're over this person and you've wiped your hands clean of it, and this is a song about breathing again.
And it shows like how two things can exist at one time, to where like just because you're over it doesn't mean that you're not going to have times that you don't miss it. And just because like you feel like it's so painful right now, but you can still kind of like, I've been in situations that feel so painful, like they're killing me, but at the same time, it's the first chance that I've had to take a deep breath. And that doesn't make sense to anybody unless you've been through a situation like that. But like, I just think that it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Her playing it live at the Reputation album, or at the Reputation tour in the rain.
Talking about like her sexual assault trial, like
so it's just it's so good. And then I know that like we're going over like a ton, but also her vault tracks for this were also lit. So
Yes.
They were so
I will
good.
say, before we get to vault tracks, the Wonderland is a wonderful song that is like Alice in Wonderland themed. That is like that is a song you gotta listen to it and go down the rabbit hole of that. You Are in Love is about, if you think about it, if you know who this song is about, it's about Lena Dunham and Jack Antonoff when they were dating, which is just wild to think that they ever dated,
especially now.
Yeah, but and then New Romantics, and New Romantics was my jam. 2015, summer 2015. That's all I played.
Listen,
bro.
New Romantics is so. You just have so much fun with that song.
Mm-hmm. That's just a song that you just dance to, and like it is. It's also a song that's like cutthroat too. It's like I could build a castle out of all the bricks they've thrown at me. Mm-hmm. But I'm just gonna dance. Like I don't care what these people are saying about me.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you did it again, Taylor.
You did it again, Taylor.
Yeah. But the vault tracks. Let's go to the vault tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy mother. When these vault tracks were released.
Oh my gosh. First, Is It Over Now is probably the most famous one. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Lyrically, so good.
And like, it's a song that like plays on the radio too, because she released it as a single. It's like a song that like references back to pivotal times that we all know about too. So like Blue Dress on a Boat, we all saw that picture, Taylor.
Yeah. We all saw all you leaving.
Yeah. And like we all know, like from Out of the Woods, we know there was the snowmobile wreck. Mm-hmm.
Which she will often like play Is It Over Now and then go into the Out of the Woods bridge from that. So she connects them all the time. So
yeah, all the time. And it's just kind of like it's a song too of just like, did you think I didn't see you? There were flashing lights. At least I had the decency to keep my nights out of sight. Oof. Like, girl, you getting...
Yeah. That was Harry's tape. Like, everybody gets one from her. That was his diss track.
That was.
But I think Now That We Don't Talk was too, because even though Now That We Don't Talk is very short in terms of like how long her songs usually are, I think it's like 2 minutes and something. But I think it's like very quick to the point.
Yeah, and like Suburban Legends is kind of like that too, of kind of just like of like, oh, well, we were these like flying high, like very center of attention people, and like I mean, essentially like we were legends of this town, until we weren't, which I love that. And then like Slut, we got Slut, which. Such a good song. Also a song, like I do agree with that. Like it is kind of very much similar to the I Know Places vibe too. Of like the same concept of like, oh, well, I know places like we can hide, but also slut. Like if they call me a slut, like I don't care if they do that for once. Like for once, I just want to be with you. Yeah. Like I just want to be with this person. I don't care what they say about me. I don't care if they take pictures. I just want to be with this person. Yeah. And I think that's also why she played that. She played it because 1989 was released and all that stuff. But I think she also played it because of Travis too. Yeah. Like, when she performed it live, I think she was thinking of Travis. Like, if they call me a slut, I don't care. Yeah. Because I just want to be with you. And that's a heartbreaking song too, because it's like, why are we calling her a slut? Because she is dating. And like, this goes back to like the blank space of it all too, is like, why are we calling her this serial dater psychopath person? But like Drake is a baller. Yeah. Like Nick Cannon can have
55,000 like kids.
Yeah, and like he's a baller. You know, all these people can do all these men can have all these different girlfriends and date all these different people and all of this stuff, and like it's this stupid double standard. Yeah. And like Like, it is heartbreaking. And it's also heartbreaking to have, you know, clients in front of me of being like, when they go through a breakup and they're just like, well, you know, I just want to go have fun. I just want to like date around, and I want to see what's out there, and I want to see what I like and what I don't like. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, go do you.
Right.
And they're just like, that's okay. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would it not be okay? And they're just like, well, I don't want like people to think I'm a slut, and I don't want you to judge me. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not here to judge.
Yeah.
And second of all, if anyone is judging you, then that's their own fucking issue at the end of the day. Because if you have something to say about someone else's dating history, that makes you sound insecure. Like, are you jealous that Taylor Swift has dated Tom Hiddleston, Taylor Lautner?
Yeah.
You know, John Mayer, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce. Like, are you jealous of that? Because I think you are.
I am of Travis Kelce. Yeah. I am of Travis Kelce, but I'm not going to call you a slut, Taylor. Don't worry.
No. It's like,
but yeah.
It's like, stop judging women. And like, women are not defined by the people that they date. So stop. So shut up.
Seriously. That's it. That's our message for the evening. Everybody just shut up and mind your own business on the dating lives.
Yeah, because if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce break up, which I hope to God not, I really do. But like, if they do and she starts dating someone else, who gives a rat's ass? At the end of the day, it's not your opinion. It's not impacting you, and it's not impacting your day to day. We might get another killer fucking album. Like, you know what? Who gives a fuck? I think we're going to get a killer. We're going to get a killer album no matter what.
No matter what happens, yeah. No, and you know what? It's not even about us. If Taylor wants to freaking go off and never do anything again, that's her decision. So
if she never picks up that pen again, that is her decision. Like, essentially, at the end of the day, we love you, Taylor. This is like one of her most. This isn't her most awarded album, but it's up there with like the Fearless accolades, and it's a staple album for her because she made such a big switch.
Yeah.
Catapulted her into the pop world.
Yeah. So go listen to 1989.
Yeah. And listen to it in order too. That's one of my favorite things to do is listen to Taylor Swift albums in order because they tell a story. Have so much fun listening to 1989 and do the style walk. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it.
And then let us know how it goes.
Style came on when I was in Kroger earlier today, and I started doing the style walk, and Josh was like, I'm going to abandon you, like, if you keep being a basic white girl right now. And I'm like, but you can't not do the style walk when style
not when you're listening. Yeah, not when you're listening to it. It's impossible.
No. You see if he does it again.
He's like, bitch, what the fuck?
No, Josh said stop. I think he's talking to me, though. Anyways. Well, okay. We're going to close out with our intentions for the week. And yeah. What did I say my intention for the week was going to be earlier?
I don't remember.
So I've re-downloaded or like signed up again for Apple Fitness Plus. So I'm gonna do that this week. I'm gonna get back into it. Start with maybe like a 10-minute Pilates session. I'll also have my specialist appointment scheduled for my ankle. That's that's in like 10 days. So
thank God.
I did it. Yay.
We did it. So this reminds me of what my intention of this week is. I have got to make a doctor's appointment to get my thyroid checked. I have to. My body is giving me a lot of signals that there's something going on with my thyroid, and I have to make an appointment for that. So that's my intention, to make a PCP appointment so I can get my blood work checked and go from there. But I've been putting it off, and I can't. So, yeah.
Can't do it anymore.
So, we're 30 years old in 14 days. So, like, we have to be getting our life together at some point.
I love how you keep counting the day.
It might be 15 by now.
I think it is. Yesterday was 14. Today's 15.
Yeah.
So
we have to get it together. So health and fitness, and I'm going to keep on with my intermittent fasting this week. Only water. So I'm going to keep on that road, but
it's crazy. Like, the more you drink water, like, the more, I mean, obviously you'll start to, like, crave it too, but, like, you'll notice, like, so many different, like, changes in, like, your skin texture too. Like, when I started drinking my hydro jug, like, my skin texture changed and my hair texture changed.
Yeah.
Like, I think your body just all around, you know.
Yeah. And I know that it's only been like a week. So, like, placebo effect probably. But like, my body has felt better this week. Not having crap, you know, eating during certain times. Like, it's felt better. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I've slept better and I don't feel as, like, achy. So I think it's helping. So we'll see.
You got this.
So do you.
I hope so. Well, we'll wrap it up and I'm going to go watch Love Island.
Yep. I'm going to go take Max out and then watch Love Island.
And then hopefully by next week, guys, we'll be doing a recap of Love Island. So, and it's Love Island USA. According to Katie Maloney, Love Island UK is kind of boring this season. So,
okay.
We'll do the US
Stick
one.
With the US. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Bye.